Hey guys, sorry it's been a while. I just didn't really have a lot of ideas, to be honest, or a lot of motivation or time to make videos in. Um, but I decided I wanted to talk about tracing and my thoughts on that, and like when it is and is not okay to trace, in my opinion. I do trace. I know. I trace things sometimes. I trace portraits. I'll trace flowers sometimes. But the difference is I try to change things as I'm drawing them. I trace them in a way where my style can't help but to shine through. I'm not too focused on making it look exactly like the thing that it is. I just use it as almost like the sketch that I'm working off of. Tracing is okay when you have already taken the steps to learn how to do it where you're not relying on it, if that makes sense. Like how in art class in high school, they tell you that they don't want you to draw anime until you've learned the rules first, and then you can apply them to your anime style drawings, like with anatomy and lights and shadows and stuff. You need to learn the rules first, then hone your skills, learn how to do it, and then you can do whatever you want, basically. So when I trace, it's just to cut out the middleman. I know how to draw it. I don't need to trace it, but it makes it go a lot faster. Just like with grid squaring, when you draw a grid over your photo reference and then a grid onto your paper, and you just, square by square copy it. I don't see, obviously that takes a lot longer and it's a lot more effort, but there's not much difference, in my opinion, between doing that and between tracing something. Even in art classes, like in high school, and not so much in college, but a lot of times in high school, they would have us, when we were practicing doing portraits, print out whatever guy we wanted to be drawing, and then do the trick where you cover it in graphite on the back and then just trace over it and transfer it onto your paper. Maybe that skewed my opinion on tracing, but I see it as a way to just, skip a step once you already know what you're doing. If you'll notice, even though I traced the drawing initially, my drawing and the picture that I used in the beginning are very different images. The picture that I used to trace over in the beginning, I'm only using as a reference now when I'm shading it. I'm taking liberties, I'm changing things, just like I did with the outline layer. I changed things, I picked out what I liked and exaggerated it, because I'm not trying to copy that image. I'm trying to do a drawing of Edward Cullen and skip the step of sketching out his face. Even though I know that I could do it and it would end up looking pretty much the same, but it would take me, a lot longer to get this artwork done then. And with that being said, I don't think it's okay all the time, obviously. Don't, trace somebody else's artwork and then try to pass it off as your own. Don't, trace something and then try to be like, yeah, I totally freehanded this whole thing. I'm so talented. And if you are going to say, trace or even copy someone else's drawing, I think that that's honestly fine for practice, but just don't post it anywhere. 'Cause that's when it crosses into the line of stealing that person's artwork. Unless, you've said, hey, this person gave me permission or whatever to do a study of their work and to post it. I don't know a single person who is an artist now who did not, when they were a kid, who didn't trace stuff. You open up your How to Draw Horses book or whatever, and you're just tracing out of there. You're not following the instructions when you're a kid. And when I was 12 and trying to get more seriously into drawing, I would copy other people's drawings in my sketchbook, and I wouldn't post them anywhere, but I would, that would help me with my hand-eye coordination and with, starting to develop a style of my own. Here at the end, I just want to throw in a few more time-lapse videos of other times that I've traced things initially and then changed them as I went. Just, as more examples of how going from one image to another, even if you trace it initially, can make it look like, you know, they end up being totally different images side by side. I'm gonna throw up at the end here a couple drawings that are from a few years ago that I'm pretty sure I had traced to get like the initial pose or portrait layer in, to show that I've still improved as an artist even though I've been doing this since like high school. I just thought people might think this is interesting. It is kind of like a peek behind the curtain, and I'm sure I'm not the only artist that does this. I'm positive I'm not the only artist who does this, but I think not a lot of people talk about it, and I figured maybe it's time to talk about it. So, I hope you guys found this interesting. Thanks for watching. Let me know if there's any sort of videos you guys want to see from me, because I have one idea every like 6 months, so any help would be appreciated if you guys want me to keep making these. Thanks. Subscribe or don't, I don't really care, to be honest. This is just for fun. I'm not trying to be famous or anything. I do plan on posting more things eventually, I just don't know what yet. So, you know, that's it.